This is the Big Deal Podcast, brought to you and powered by New Covenant Baptist Church in Albertville, Alabama. And on this podcast, we're asking the question, what's the big deal about all things Bible, theology, and culture? I'm Justin.
I'm Brad.
Welcome to the Big Deal. How you doing, man?
Great.
Did you have a good Easter?
I did.
Yesterday was Easter, everybody.
It was.
You can tell we're filming this on Monday.
Yeah,
Monday after.
yeah.
It was a great day.
It was.
Man, I had to come back up here to the church after, and sometime in the afternoon, I left a bunch of eggs here Jared gave me. And I came in, and it was like, it just made me smile to walk back in the building and stuff. I just love this place. And,
you must have just missed me. I had to come back and get my iPad.
Yeah, a lot of the lights were on this morning and stuff.
Oh, I don't think I did that.
Yeah, the lights were on and the alarm wasn't on. Everybody, sorry about that.
Yeah. Maybe the cleaning lady came.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, it was. There was a lot of stuff on this morning when I came in. But yeah, it just made me. I just started smiling when I came back in. I was like, oh man, I love this place so much. We had such a good time.
We did
yesterday morning. We had breakfast at the church.
That was good.
It was delicious.
I ate eggs and one sausage ball.
Scrambled eggs. I did really good.
I did too. I feel like that was good.
I did good all day.
For the spread that was there.
It was heavy on the sweetbreads yesterday morning.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I was walking around going,
muffins
look
everywhere.
At that chest cake or whatever it was.
It's cinnamon rolls.
It's like, look, let's eat a wad of cream cheese.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
It looks delicious.
Yeah, I went scrambled eggs in yogurt, and I was like, man, I did good. How in the world? I have self-control right now.
Yeah, me too.
It's an
I
Easter
ate eggs
miracle.
and my indulgence was a sausage ball.
Yeah, that's what I indulged on too. Yeah, I went savory. Stay away from the sweet.
Mm-hmm. Got to stay away from them sweets.
We did. I did a pork loin for lunch, and then we did ribs for dinner. And I came out pretty good through
We
the day.
did ham and green beans, and I ate one crescent roll. That's an indulgence.
That's a sad indulgence.
I know. I love crescent rolls, though.
Croissants?
Yeah. The ones that come out of like the Pillsbury
I don't like those.
Oh, my goodness. I love them.
They're like, I feel like they there's nothing to them, and they're like 500 calories.
That's the thing.
They don't taste like
My
nothing.
brain loves it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I did pretty good. And then I did ribs.
Oh, you did ribs too?
Baby back ribs.
Yeah, I did baby back ribs.
And ribs themselves are great
It's not
until
bad.
you put Sweet Baby Ray's all over it.
You candy them.
Yes, exactly.
You cover them with candy.
Yeah.
That's why I tell Evie every time. She loves them. And it's like, yeah, because it's candied meat. It's meat candy. They're delicious.
Oh,
I did. I smoked for like 3-4 hours, maybe even.
Yeah.
I might have gotten 4 hours on them, around 180, and wrapped them. And I put I put butter down. Yeah, and a little brown sugar and squirts of mustard, and I lay them flat, like meat side up on that. Wrap them up, put them back in, bring it up to about 200.
Yeah.
And then I mix about half Sweet Baby Ray's.
Yeah.
So one part that, a pepper jelly.
Ooh, is it the one from what's that sandwich place?
No, it's just
They've got a good pepper jelly.
They do. It's really good.
It?
It's like
Mike's?
Jersey Mike's.
Jersey Mike's has a good pepper.
They do. Yeah. I just use it's just a jalapeno pepper jelly.
Yeah.
And another part apple cider vinegar, and mix like a thinner, kind of like tangier, spicier barbecue sauce to glaze it with.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Dude, did I ever tell you
Those
one
are
time
award winners,
I got to be a judge at a rib cook-off where the prize was $5,000 and it was like a serious deal.
Oh my goodness.
Did I ever tell you that?
I would love to do that.
It was amazing. It was weird.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, it was weird in the sense that there was probably 10 judges in there. We were not allowed to talk to each other. We were not allowed to speak.
Whoa, that's intense.
It was intense. We were handed a tray, like a whatever, like a to-go box looking thing. You'd open it up. There were like 2 ribs in there. You tried it, and you had like 5 things you scored it on. And there were probably, I don't know, 50 people there or more. The parking lot was just full of people smoking. And like some people would do it under tarps, so you couldn't see what they were doing.
Oh, wow.
Because their secret recipe. And I'll tell you what was weird. It runs together. It's like, oh, that's pretty good. There was one that was a winner.
just automatically.
Dude, I was sitting there eating, and I picked up this rib, and I bit it, and I went, like, it's the shock on my face.
Yeah.
And I just looked over at the guy next to me, and he was like, looking at me the same way, like, this is the best rib I've ever put in my mouth.
Yeah.
Like, I knew instantly it was the winner. Out of 50 people trying as hard as they could, that was the best ribs. Not even close. Wild.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, the difference maker for me has been I can do the exact same process, and if I buy Tyson ribs, they will always be worse.
Yeah.
They will always be worse. But if I go Prairie Fresh, it will be better.
Well, it does matter because, like, the ones I got were not ideal this time because there's a lot thicker meat on one end than the other.
Yeah, you got an even.
You got to have an even rib rack, or one end will be burnt and the other end will be not
dried
done.
or something.
It just don't work. Anyway.
Yeah. I love ribs. Golly, I got another rack in the fridge. They're so cheap too.
They're cheap.
Oh man, it's so cheap.
$12-15 for a rack of ribs.
Oh man, I don't spend over 12. I'm always under 12.
It depends. It fluctuates with the economy.
Yeah. The Prairie Fresh from Foodland, you can get them cheap.
I'll do
$8-9.
We get these from Sam's.
Oh, okay. I've never bought Sam's. Yeah. But I don't like Tyson. A lot of Walmart stuff is Tyson.
Do you do spare ribs or baby back every time?
Baby back.
Yeah.
I do not like spare ribs.
I like spare ribs, but you have to doctor them so much. You have to do so much cutting to prep time.
Yeah,
it's way more.
I don't like them. I don't like the meat. I don't know something. I don't know what. I don't even really know what the difference is between
It's
them.
how they're cut. It's the same thing. You can turn spare ribs into baby backs.
Okay.
You just have to cut them. And so most people won't trim them like you need to.
Oh.
Because, well, it may not be the exact same thing, but it's close.
Yeah.
You have to cut off a bunch of fat. You have to trim a bunch of edges. You got to round them off. Yeah. If you don't,
I just do the baby backs.
I know this because of YouTube.
Nice.
But if you can figure it out, then you can get spare ribs even cheaper.
Yeah. Well, spare ribs are always more expensive than baby backs.
Maybe I'm wrong.
They are. Yeah. Baby backs are usually cheaper. Yeah. Anyways. Happy Easters, everyone.
Hey. Jesus never had baby back ribs.
He didn't.
With barbecue sauce.
Golly.
Never.
They're so good, though.
I know.
I might make some more today.
He said everything is clean.
Yeah, he did.
But he didn't get to eat it.
And what setup for today's talk. Because we're in Leviticus 11 today. And we've been rolling through the Torah.
Yeah.
Right? And we finally got to the clean and unclean animals section in Leviticus 11.
And baby backs are
unclean. Unclean, right? And this is mirrored later on. There's another passage, Deuteronomy 14, that also has a lot of this. It actually elaborates on some things because they've probably had some time to ask some questions about it.
Deuteronomy just means second law. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Deutero is two.
Yeah.
Onomy is law.
Yeah. Onomy. Yeah. And so I guess they just had some time to like, well, what about this one? What about this one? So it tells you like which kind of deer and stuff in Deuteronomy 14. So let's do a little reading. This is kind of interesting. This topic has like all sorts of kind of like folklore around it. Right. And like for the why these animals. Right. Mm-hmm. And so we'll talk about some of that stuff too. So let's do some reading. We're not going to read the whole thing. We're just going to kind of talk about, hit some high
What's
points.
funny is like, even just as a side note, some of these animals, we're not really sure what they are.
Yeah.
Because the word
hyrax.
Hyrax sometimes 11 will have like crocodile.
Yeah.
And if you look in your side, it's like, we're not really sure what this is.
Is verse 11 you said?
Let me see. It's chapter 11, verse 30. It says the gecko and the crocodile.
Oh, yeah.
And
or the monitor lizard.
Yeah, it says sand reptile.
Yeah, spotted lizard.
Mine says could be lizard species as yet unidentified. Because these words are very, very rare.
Yeah,
right?
it's like might be the only time it's used in the Old Testament.
The only time in the Old Testament, and we have no real evidence for it.
And they didn't need a dictionary back then. No. We do, though, because we don't speak ancient Hebrew.
And things change like linguistically. It's interesting because Hebrew basically had one word, dog.
Yeah.
They didn't have German Shepherd. They didn't have like husky. They didn't have wolf. Yeah, they did have wolf.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, they're just dog.
Yeah,
they might
yeah.
have had 50 words for chariot, though, because, you
Yeah.
got a sleek chariot and a battle chariot and your prom chariot, whatever, limo chariot.
A limo chariot.
Yeah, we just got one kind of chariot.
Yeah. So let's do some reading. The Lord, this is verse 1, chapter 11 of Leviticus. The Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron. Tell the Israelites, you may eat all these kinds of land animals. Oh, so it starts positively. You may eat all of these kinds.
You can eat it. Eat them up.
Yeah. You may eat any animal with divided hooves that chews the cud.
Yeah.
What is that? What is that?
A
You're
ruminant.
a farmer.
Ruminant. So a cud is a cow has a split hoof, and cud is they have a 4-chambered stomach. So they eat grass. And maybe you think, how does something get so big eating grass, right? It takes a specialized stomach. And so what happens is they'll eat it, chew it up. It goes in one chamber, digest for a little bit, and then they'll burp it back up, and they'll chew it some more, swallow it, goes to another section of the stomach. And so chewing the cud means they've regurgitated some grass, and they chew it again. And that's how they get the protein out of it. The reason we can't get protein out of grass is it passes through our digestive tract too fast.
Yeah.
We can't process it.
That is a wonderful point. Just like this is just like, glory of God kind of stuff. But you can take a cow and stick it in a pasture full of grass.
Yeah.
And it makes meat for you.
Yeah, 1,000 pounds of it.
That's incredible.
Well, it'll weigh 1,000 pounds.
The chicken is interesting too. It's like they're like magic animals.
Yeah.
Like they what do they? I don't know what they eat. Like
bugs.
Well,
they're
corn
tiny
or something.
raptors, dude. They eat everything.
They eat
if a chicken was 9 feet tall, we'd be in trouble.
Yeah,
I'm telling you right now, they will peck anything that moves.
That's
brother.
funny, and but they will give you the most wonderful source of food in the world, eggs every single day,
and then you can eat them.
And then when they're done doing that, you just eat them.
Yes.
They're just like magic animals,
They are. They're amazing.
God did a good job on chickens.
He did. We love the chickens. Rabbits have an interesting. They're unclean. We'll get to them.
They're unclean. Yeah.
They eat grass, eat their poop, and then process it that way.
Really?
Yeah, but they have 2 different kinds of poops. They have the one that needs to be eaten again for them to be nourished, and then they have one that's done, and they can tell the difference.
That's sick.
If you put a rabbit in a cage where its poop falls through the cracks, it'll starve to death.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's got to eat that stuff.
Oh. So he said you can eat all these animals, eat any animal with divided hooves and that chews the cud. But among the ones that chew the cud or have divided hooves, you are not to eat these. So it's like one or the other, I guess.
Yeah.
Camels, though they chew the cud, they don't have divided hooves.
Right.
They're unclean. Hyraxes, though they chew the cud, do not have hooves. They're unclean for you.
What is a hyrax?
Apparently, it's like a badger. Some sort of, that's the commonly, it must be this rock badger.
I was thinking
thing.
it was the guy that guarded the forest in Dr. Seuss. That's the Lorax.
The Lorax.
He's got a big mustache.
Yeah.
Oh, can't eat him.
Hares, though they chew the cud, do not have hooves. That's a
rabbit.
Different rabbits, yeah. It goes on, I think, in Deuteronomy 14, talk about different kinds of rabbits or something.
Yeah.
Pigs, though they have divided hooves, do not chew the cud. They are unclean for you. That's the most disappointing one, I think, for everybody.
Yeah.
Do not eat any of their meat or touch their carcasses. They are unclean for you.
Man, think about these people who'd eaten pork before the law was given. They're like, what?
What'd you say?
No bacon?
They probably didn't have bacon,
They probably didn't.
Yeah, because you have to smoke it. And they
Salt
probably
it.
Yeah.
Salt was expensive.
Yeah.
People got paid in salt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's like the first sections are these like land animals and stuff, and then you have aquatic animals, so fishes and stuff.
Yeah.
This is what you may eat from all that is in the water. You may eat everything in the water that has fins and scales, whether in the seas or streams. But these are to be abhorrent to you. Everything in the seas or streams that does not have fins and scales, among all the swarming things and other living creatures in the water, they are to remain abhorrent to you. You must not eat any of their meat. So that's like, shellfish and
Catfish.
Dolphin.
Yeah. Whales.
But if you're being real, like eating dolphin is a little shady.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like eating dog. It's like, man, that should be a last resort.
Yeah.
They're a little intelligent.
Dude, we used to eat some whale though.
Yeah. I'm okay with for some reason, but dolphin,
I don't know, man. They're just as smart. Them humpback whales
Is that right?
are smart. Yeah.
Are they're really smart?
Yeah. Have you seen those orcas out there? How they team up to
I've heard that. I've heard about I've heard that.
I watched 4. There was a sea lion drifting on a ice shelf, and like these 4 orcas swam together and dove under it, and it caused this big wave, and it washed it off the ice shelf.
You think they did it on purpose?
Absolutely, they did it over and over again.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
wow. That's cool. I mean, bad. I don't know.
Yeah, I know it's pretty spooky. Yeah,
and so you got these aquatic animals. And you got birds. So you're to abhor these birds. That means don't like them. Mm-hmm. Yeah, stay away from them. They must not be eaten because they are abhorrent.
Yeah, disgusting.
Eagles, bearded vultures.
Yeah.
You ever seen a bearded vulture?
Maybe. I've seen vultures, and I've never seen one and I thought, I want to eat that thing. No. I'll tell you what else I have not looked at and thought, I want to eat that. Turkeys, man. That's the ugliest creature in the world.
Oh, they are ugly. They're delicious, though. Yeah, when you smoke them.
Wild turkeys ain't. But anyway.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I've heard that.
They got a lot of tendons because they run around and stuff.
Yeah. Egyptian vultures, kites, any kind of falcon, raven. It's all a bunch of these predator birds basically. And stuff. Owls.
Ravens are also really smart.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I've heard that.
Remember faces?
Yeah. All winged insects that walk on all fours are to be abhorrent to you, but you may eat these kinds of winged insects.
Oh, I can't wait. Here, tell me about it. Yeah.
Locust, katydid, crickets, and grasshoppers. You can eat those.
Yeah.
Yeah. John the Baptist out there eating locusts.
Yeah. A locust is like a grasshopper that leveled up. Have you ever looked at that?
Yeah.
It's like a stress thing.
They're big.
Yeah. It's like a regular old grasshopper, and then some stress happens, and they turn into locusts.
Is that right?
Yes.
That's how it happens, huh?
Yeah.
They're really big.
They must be delicious.
They're, I saw years ago on Shark Tank.
Guy did cricket meal.
Yeah.
I saw that.
Like really high protein.
Yes.
Really high. Insect.
Could you do it?
Yeah.
You could?
Oh, yeah. Why not? I mean, they make it taste like other stuff,
Oh, man.
I don't care.
I don't know. I'd have to be real hungry.
I just want to see the macros, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then it goes on to talk about some like the creepy crawlies out there, creatures that swarm on the ground, right? Weasels, mice, large lizards, monitor lizards, the supposed crocodiles, things like that. They don't have words for them. We're not real sure what it is.
Yeah.
It's just a Hebrew word, and this I guess probably something like this.
Yeah.
Because
they're just looking at roots and
roots of words, and it gets real hairy and on rare words in Hebrew because you don't have anything to compare it to.
And this is
really our only ancient Hebrew document. Is the Bible. And so you have to go to other languages, Ugaritic, Aramaic.
Yeah.
You have to go to these other languages in order
to
find
something similar,
something close. Yeah. And it's like, oh well, maybe it's this word.
You could do it in like Romance languages. It helps. That's basically if you speak Spanish and you know some Portuguese, there's so much crossover. Like baño and bañero is bathroom.
Well, English is like that. It shares so many like roots and cognates and stuff.
English would be harder because we stole from so many people.
But you think of like what's like a Spanish to English. There's a lot of the Spanish to English.
Burrito.
Yeah, important. What's important in Spanish?
Yeah, I think it's importante.
Importante. It's very, very. Like I was like, obviously, it means important.
We stole that from the French, probably.
Yeah, and I'm sure the French word for important is actually probably very similar. A lot of them are Latin.
Because it's biacuas.
Yeah, biacuas. I love that. That's so funny. Biacuas. So all these they're unclean, unclean swarming creatures. And Brad, do you notice the order, like a parallel in the order?
Yeah, it's like created order.
It is,
except backwards, kind of.
It's like this is. It's like you get Genesis 1 and 2, where everything is being created, and it's like when you read Genesis 1 and 2, it's as if the whole world is laid before humanity to help them do what they're mandated to do, right? Here's all everything you need to go and do it. and it's all open-ended for humans. And here, it's like, here is the whole world, and most of it is taken away from them.
Yeah.
Right? You get this narrow band of what you can eat in each one of those things. But it's in the same, it actually uses the same languages too, the land animals, then the sea animals, then the sky animals, and the swarming creatures and stuff,
Creepy bugs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's all in the same order and stuff. I think that's pretty interesting. I think there's an intentional link there, probably hyperlink there.
My favorite part is when it says if one of these things should die and fall into your pot, like you've
what
rules.
Verse is that?
32, I think.
Yeah. Yep.
If anything on which one of them may fall when they are dead becomes unclean, including any wooden article or clothing or a skin or a sack, any article of which use is made, it shall be put in the water and unclean until evening. Then it becomes clean. As for any earthenware vessel into which one of them may fall, whatever is in it becomes unclean, and you shall break the vessel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you like that bit about pots?
If a lizard falls in your favorite stoneware pot, what's that? What's the stoneware we use all the time at the house? It's you bake on them. You know what I'm talking about?
A Dutch oven?
It's like Pampered Chef stoneware stuff. Yeah. Man, if a lizard died on that, I would be sad. I love that thing, man. Yeah.
Oh, speaking of stoneware, I've been.
I wonder how they make that stuff too. By the way.
Oh yeah,
that's I don't know. Weird.
I want a pizza stone or a pizza oven.
Yeah,
I'm like
like an outdoor one.
I guess, yeah. Well, a pizza stone if I'm going to use it in the house, but or an outdoor one, because I've been my social media YouTube reels.
Oh yeah,
they have like the algorithm has latched me on to homemade pizzas recently.
Dang.
Golly, and it's like I think it's temptation. Yes. It is, yeah. But as soon as this diet's over with, I think I'm gonna like.
I have a big green egg. I need to get a pizza stone for that thing.
Can you do pizzas in it pretty
absolutely.
Good? You need the top heat. Yeah. For a good pizza. That's like a lot. It's hard to get. I don't know if you could do that with a green egg.
I think I can.
Yeah. I want to make my own pizzas, and they look so good.
I mean, basically,
I've been watching a bunch of Dave Portnoy pizza reviews.
Yeah, me too. Basically, a green egg is a what do you call it? A brick oven?
Is it? Okay. Yeah. Well, the fire's so low, I wasn't sure if it heat the top enough.
Yeah. No, I'll give it the old college try. Smoky,
oh man, I want to make some pizzas right now. I'm so hungry. I didn't eat enough breakfast. Everybody.
I am hungry. Also, starving. I just ate. I'm starving already.
Are you? Yeah, that calorie deficit. So that's the kind of thing about all these unclean animals. Is that whoever touches them when they are dead will be unclean until evening. So there's even like, it's not just eating, it's touching a carcass of them.
Yeah.
And there's this association with death for all of them. Actually, I think it's like touching any kind of dead body.
Yeah. Anything makes you unclean.
Death.
So if it said if something falls into your pot, it's unclean. But they had big cisterns in the desert, right?
Yeah,
you had these shaded cisterns. So when you did, by the grace of God, get rain, it collected. If a dead thing falls in there, that's still clean. But whoever the dude is that has to go get the thing out of the cistern, that guy's unclean until the evening.
So let's talk about that clean and unclean thing. What does that mean? Like, what does it mean to be clean and unclean?
Ritually unclean. It just means you can't do certain things in the temple. You can't go offer sacrifice. Yeah. You have to be clean. Sometimes you had to make an offering for it.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily mean that you're sinful.
Yeah, that's right.
Not that you didn't become unclean by being sinful necessarily.
Yeah,
you could, but sometimes, like when a woman's on her period, she was considered unclean.
Yeah, it's like clean and unclean are like larger categories than sin. Like sin falls within unclean, but it's actually a broader category than sin is.
Yes,
which is interesting. Like, because a lot of times, like if you're reading through the scriptures, kind of quickly, not taking your time, you might just on accident automatically associate unclean things with things that God thinks are sinful.
Yes.
And that are by nature evil, even. There's a big problem with that, though, because God made everything good, and these are creatures that God made. They're to be abhorrent to them, to Israel.
See, here's
to
the
be
deal.
avoided.
Yes, to be avoided. The thing is, it goes back to purpose of law. What's the purpose of the law?
Yeah.
And it's not just to make you aware of sin. It's part of it.
Yep.
But it's other purpose, which is just as important, is to make you think about God all the time.
Yeah, that's right.
And so pigs are not sinful creatures.
Yeah.
But there's a reason they can't eat them.
Yeah.
And the reason is you have to think about what you can eat all the time.
Yeah.
And
let's talk a little bit about that, like, because this is something people got opinions on. They just throw them out there. People talk about this stuff all the time.
And I think I know what you're going to say.
Yeah. Well, it's like worth what might you have heard about this, and is it fair? Basically, is what I want to talk about. It's like the big question people get to when they get to some of the more I don't know, more unique laws of the Torah that don't seem to have any play in morality.
Yeah.
The first question, of course, is why?
Why?
Why is God prohibiting these things?
Or they'll think that maybe low key it is sinful.
Yeah.
Like people will be like, the reason God didn't let them eat pigs is because of trichinosis and other parasites, and the meat's bad for you.
So the first reason why that gets brought up is like paganism.
Yeah.
So like this is like that these were animals associated with other religions, like the religions of cities and demons or something, paganism and stuff.
Yeah.
And so that must be why. Like they can't, or these were related to some kind of animals or something in Egypt, and they're coming out of that, and it was, if they ate them, they're going to be kind of lured back into paganism or something.
Yeah.
Big problem though with that.
Yeah, because the Bible doesn't say that.
The Bible doesn't say that.
No.
Yeah, and also the bull.
Yeah,
they can eat the bull, and like the bull is like the most.
It's like the bull is to food and paganism what a lion is to heraldry.
Yeah, that's right. Everyone's got it.
Everyone's got it. Yeah,
everyone sacrifices the bull everywhere, and so the bull is kind of ubiquitous in all paganisms for sacrifice and stuff. Baal worship.
Yeah,
Baal was like a bull.
Bulls were dangerous.
Yeah.
Bulls are dangerous.
They are. Yeah,
they kill lots of farmers every year to this day.
How about that?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's the most dangerous creature on the farm. And we have things like rifles now.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going after these dudes. Think about this. When you put a bull in a catch shoot now, and they just basically shoot it in the head.
Yeah.
In ancient Israel, how you putting that thing down, man?
Oh, I know, right?
I guess they put it in a catch shoot and stabbed it.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So a lot of people got killed by bulls.
Yeah.
And they were symbols of power. Like if this is helpful too. Like if you read Psalms, it always talks about the horn of your salvation.
Oh,
Jesus in Revelation this week, it said he had 7 horns.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why, what is that about?
Yeah.
Well, horns were signs
Daniel.
of strength.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Means something strong.
Yep.
Mess with the bull,
You get the horns.
get the horns.
That's right. And so it doesn't, the association with paganism doesn't really make any sense because they all were sacrificing the similar things. Pigs were not as sacrificed.
No.
And there's pigs, as far as anyone can tell, I mean, you can't really tell a ton in the ancient world, but when you dig up stuff, they're just eating them.
Yeah.
They're just eating them.
Yeah, just because they're delicious.
Their hide wasn't good for much. And
some kinds of, if you needed a thick leather for something, maybe.
Yeah. And they just eat them because they're delicious, you know.
And they were a handy source of protein, and they reproduce quick.
They eat everything, and that's right. That's like the first one everyone goes to. Oh, well, it was probably paganism or something. The second one is like the safety idea, like food safety.
Yes.
Like as if that, that these are animals that God didn't, to help them, prevent them to have diseases or something.
Yeah.
Get diseases, get parasites or something.
Yeah.
And what's a big problem with that, Brad? Same thing.
It's not true.
It's not in the Bible.
No, it's not in the Bible. Every single creature in the world gets parasites.
That's right.
And if you cook it, you can kill them.
Yep. they're no worse. They're really no worse. No. Like, I mean, people talk about pigs a lot.
Yeah.
Because what it is, they just eat so much. Mm-hmm. That's like why they're a little more prone to it. But
yeah,
cooking them, like there's this weird room. I don't know where this came from. This is bananas to me. But I actually read it this morning in a commentary.
Really?
And it's this old wives' tale thing or something. I don't know what it is. Folklore that there is no safe temperature to cook pork.
What?
To which it will kill all the parasites. Yeah. That's insanity.
Yeah, I know.
That is so crazy. If you put anything at 165, man, they're all gone.
You are too.
Yeah.
We would die.
Yeah, that's right. Like it's cooked. It is cooked.
Yeah,
Everything's cooked. Yeah. And so that's bananas. Like you can do a pork loin to 145 and it's completely done.
Yeah.
And everything's dead in it.
Yeah, ground meat the most dangerous. And they probably didn't grind much meat.
No, they weren't grinding meat. They're just slabbing it, man.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of bizarre. And some of the animals don't really fit that narrative. Like shellfish are some of the easiest animals to cook and safest. Like it's so easy to cook shrimp and lobster.
I like lemon pepper, shrimp scampi.
Oh, yeah.
And like lobster bisque.
Yeah.
My goodness. The Lord never ate it.
Yeah, that's right.
I think about him every time. It's the opposite for me.
I bet he's eating it now in heaven, maybe.
You think? I don't know.
Why not?
Maybe. I think...
there's a feast, apparently.
But it's funny because I do backwards law now. Yeah. They couldn't eat this stuff and they had to think about God. Mm-hmm. I can eat this stuff and I think about God.
Oh, I know. Isn't that fun?
Man, yeah. Oh, covenant, I couldn't enjoy this.
Yeah.
Yesterday when I was working in my garden, or day before when I was smoking those ribs, and the every once in a while the smoke would waft over.
Oh yeah,
I was like, oh, it's a fragrant aroma to the Lord.
That's right.
Man, smoking ribs smells so good.
It's so good. Yeah. And so, just the safety thing just doesn't really fit. You know, the weird thing about that one, when people start talking about it, is that all of a sudden in the New Testament, God doesn't care about people's safety and health anymore because he opens them up to people.
Well, I mean, you think about one of the unclean animals we mentioned was not only shrimp, but catfish. Mm-hmm. So you could eat a carp, which is generally people think they're disgusting now.
Yeah.
But you could eat those because they
don't taste
fins,
very good, though.
And they had, well, it just depends. They eat them in South Louisiana.
Okay.
So they had scales and they had fins. So you could eat carp, but you could not eat a catfish. Yeah. And they'll say, "Oh, it's because it was a bottom feeder."
Yeah, so
they eat dead stuff.
Yeah.
So you can't. It's disgusting. It's like, I like catfish.
Yeah. So the dead thing, that's like an association. I think it's actually backwards though. Yeah. Like I think there is an association with unclean and death.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's because the animals already had an association with death.
Yeah.
I think God wanted them to think of it like that. I think he
does seem all the scavengers wind up unclean pretty much.
All the scavengers,
anything that kills,
anything dead, is unclean. So I think there is an association with death, but I think it's like more of like God wants them to start thinking of all the places that how ubiquitous death is in their world. And how the only place for life, because the temple is this place of life.
Now, if a clean animal died, you could eat it. Obviously, you didn't eat them alive. Mm-hmm. But there were rules. Like if it died out in the field, you could eat it. Maybe if it wasn't already stinking. Like there's rules.
But
but if it's torn by an animal, you can't eat it.
And a human corpse was
unclean. Yeah. You gotta.
So it's really interesting. Like,
Levites weren't allowed to like go around dead bodies.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't perform their temple service.
That's right. And so some of this stuff is like it might seem very like, I don't know, prohibitive. Everything's so prohibitive. But the reality is like everyone came in contact with this stuff.
Yeah. But you got to unclean all the time.
All the time.
It would happen.
Being an Israelite.
Maybe not all the time, but it was regular.
It was like a regular rhythm of life. If you were a woman, we'll get to this eventually.
It's very specific too. Like if a dude. It's in the Bible. Yeah. If you have like a nocturnal emission, you are unclean as a dude.
Yeah.
And it's like if you have sex with your wife,
you're unclean.
You're unclean.
Yeah.
Got to go wash yourself.
These are like normal rhythms of life. And
so people were unclean all the time.
All the time. And
you started worrying about your buddy if he was never unclean. Like everything okay at your house?
Yeah. Well, they're just liars.
They're
liars. Like the whole point.
I mean, what I meant was he ain't getting along with his wife.
I know. Yeah. I know what you mean.
I got you.
I just mean it was broader than that. It's not. That's not the only thing. Like, every time a woman menstruates or something, they're unclean, and for like 8 days or something after
and
that.
stuff she sits on.
Yeah,
while she's menstruating.
So it's like half the month. They're like, because I think there's a time period afterwards. Am I remembering that right?
Few days. Yeah. Well, while they're bleeding,
is it? I wasn't sure if there's a time period after that.
Yeah.
So it's like it's just a normal part of life, and there was no way to remain perfectly clean all the time.
100% people use that as excuses not to do stuff, dude.
Oh, really?
They'd be like, "Hey, you want to go out? I'm unclean today.
Well, funny thing is, no, they didn't, because they didn't do this.
Yeah, they didn't follow it.
They didn't follow it at all.
Yeah,
like as soon as Moses said this, it was gone. It was over. Like we're not doing that. Obviously,
We won't eat the pigs.
Bring the pork, please. Yeah, because they didn't do it. And that's like why every once in a while you'll get like some moments where they're doing it in the Old Testament, but by and large, if you see them whoring themselves off to other gods and stuff, they're probably eating the pork too.
Oh,
pal.
absolutely. Absolutely.
That's the smallest thing.
Yeah.
And so that's the other thing. It's this safety thing that they talk about, is like that these animals were safe and these ones weren't. But the third one is the right one. It's just because God said so. It's distinctiveness. It's like, God, this is just how you have to live.
Yes. So that you have to think about him all the time.
All the time.
Yep.
There's nothing that you would think of more than eating.
Yeah.
Especially even in the ancient world.
They were basically on a diet all the time.
All the time.
Not for losing weight, but they had to think about what they ate all the time, just like a person on a diet would.
Yeah.
So like, yesterday at breakfast, we're in our calorie deficit, and we're like, I can't eat that sweet bread.
Yeah.
I just can't
lose all the calories today.
Be done.
Yeah.
And it'll keep me full for 11 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be really great, but I can't. So they had to think all the time before they ate.
Yeah.
Or you come home, your wife's all upset. What's wrong? You're like, oh, my favorite pie was a stupid lizard dead in there today, and I had to break it. You're like, oh, I'm gonna have to go fire another one.
Yep. Yeah, it's just to always have them thinking about the Lord, and but it's not just thinking about the Lord. It's also the intention was for them to always have to keep on coming to the Lord.
Yes.
Like
also, because
the temple
you're
is
unclean.
involved in this.
Yes.
Yeah, they have to go back.
Yep.
Like you can't, if you're living faithfully as an Israelite, there's no living apart from God.
Yes.
You're always needing Him.
If you'll notice, some of these say you're just unclean. You take a bath, you're unclean till dark.
Yeah.
You don't have to go make an offering for that. But
yeah.
some things you might.
Yeah.
And so that was hard because like if you live way down south in Israel, you might be 4 days from the temple.
Yep.
It's like, are you kidding me?
Yep. And this is again why they didn't do it.
Yeah.
Because they were lazy and they didn't care about it that much.
I gotta go.
Yeah, and so you have these. It's just to constantly focus their attention on God and as like a reminder of where their life comes from. Everything in the temple is mimicking like this Garden of Eden kind of thing, paradise, and they keep on. And there are things that are prohibiting them from that, from paradise, like this by nature of living in this world. Like unavoidable.
Yeah.
Like there are things keeping you from paradise.
Yeah.
In the whether it's sin or whether it's just the association of death you have by living here.
Yeah.
And that's what these unclean laws are about. And how can I become clean? How can I enter paradise? Only by God's grace.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's only by God. Why does waiting till the night make me clean again?
I don't know. Because God said it.
Because God said so. So it's His grace.
Yeah.
It's the only reason you have access to Him is by His grace.
Oh, when women had babies, they were unclean.
Yeah.
And they were unclean longer if they had boys than when they had girls.
Oh, is that right? I didn't remember that. How about that?
It says
it goes on at chapter 12, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, verse 2. When a woman becomes pregnant and gives birth to a male child, she'll be unclean 7 days.
Oh, no, she's unclean longer if she has a girl.
Okay. And she is during the days of her menstrual impurity. Yeah, where does it say about the girl, the female child? But if she gives birth to a female child, she'll be unclean for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And she is during her menstrual impurity. So why, what's the deal with like having a girl and having a boy?
I don't have a clue.
I don't know. It's probably just because he's got to be circumcised by 8th day.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're unclean for 7 days. He's got to be circumcised though.
8th day.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, right. She couldn't go into the temple to have him circumcised if she was still unclean.
Yeah. But 2 weeks for the girl, Does that mean that girls are less valuable than boys?
It means they're more valuable.
There you go.
I have no idea.
I don't know. No, it doesn't say anything about that.
Nothing about it. No.
You should never make those kinds of associations when you're reading through this kind of stuff.
Yeah, you had to offer sacrifice for both.
Yep. What kind of sacrifices?
So right here for the daughter, she bears a female child. You shall bring the priest at the doorway of the tent of meeting a 1-year-old lamb for a burnt offering, and a young pigeon or turtle dove for a sin offering. Then he shall offer it before the Lord and make atonement for her, and she shall be cleansed from the flow of her blood. This is the law for her who bears a child, whether male or female. If she cannot afford a lamb, this is really interesting. Yeah. This is how we know Jesus' parents were broke.
Yeah.
If she cannot afford a lamb, then she shall take 2 turtle doves or 2 young pigeons, the one for a burnt offering, the other for a sin offering. Allowances are not always made for poor.
Yep.
In this particular offering, there is, and we know that when Jesus and Mary went for Jesus to be purified, for Mary to be purified, they offered turtle doves.
Yep.
And that means that they could not afford a lamb.
Yeah, they're expensive.
Yeah.
Yep. Here's an interesting thing in this is that they need a sin offering.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That's fascinating right there.
Yeah.
Why do they need a sin offering?
They sinned.
They were born in sin, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Their very first meeting at the temple will be to atone for their sins.
Right.
That's heavy. That's the state of humanity, It goes on. There's skin diseases.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
If you got leprosy, man, you're unclean.
But it ain't just leprosy.
No.
It's like
pimples.
Anything like swelling. Yeah. So verse 2, when a person has swelling, a scab, or a spot on the skin of his body, it may be a serious disease on the skin of the body. He is to be brought to the priest Aaron or to one of his sons. The priest will examine the sore on the skin of his body. What an awful job.
I know. Man, the priest, you know what, man? Ow. The job of the sons of Aaron and the Levites was terrible.
Yeah, it was
an awful
brutal,
job.
man.
Brutal. You're butchering all the time.
Oh yeah, and
some
then
dude comes rocking up and his skin's all oozing, and you have to look at
He pulls his pants down, and you got to
look at this on my butt, man. I got this massive. It's like, oh, dude, you're unclean, man. I don't know if this is. And it's like, check out the hair.
Yeah,
it's like
that's what the next verse it says. Oh gosh, if you this is content warning.
Yeah.
Okay. If the hair in the sore has turned white and the sore appears to be deeper than the skin of his body, it is in fact a serious skin disease. After the priest examines him, he must pronounce him unclean. But if the spot on the skin of his body is white and does not appear to be deeper than the skin, and the hair in it has not turned white, the priest will quarantine the stricken person for 7 days. So it's like a boil or something at that point.
Yeah. Staph infection.
Yeah. So there's a lot of rules.
And
about
at the end of the 7th day, if
diseases.
it's like getting well, it's like, all right, you're good, bud. Offer a sacrifice and go. So like if
there's
you're
the head or the chin, it gets really detailed.
Yeah, on your hair, if like you get a white spot on your hair or something because of a skin thing. Yeah. It's bad, man. It was a rough job.
So this is another one that's like, what's the why? Like, why? This is one that people get is God trying to prevent the spread of diseases?
I think it's possible on this one.
Yeah.
Because leprosy was bad.
Yeah.
And well, it's not the leprosy we think about now. The thing that they call leprosy in the Old Testament is kind of a catch-all for all sorts of skin disorders.
Right. You're right. Yeah.
The leprosy that I've actually been to a leper colony in India.
Really?
And that
they
kind
don't
of
have
leprosy,
them anymore. Not in the U.S.
No. Well, it can be treated with antibiotics.
It's curable now.
Yeah, it's absolutely curable there too. But it's a whole mess, man. This has been years ago, but if you get cured, you get off the government stipend. And there's like this terrible stigma if you had leprosy. So like some people, for 50 cents, you can get cured nearly.
Yeah.
But if they do, they're going to starve. So it's like starve or have leprosy.
Oh my
it's like
gosh, that is a horrible situation.
But it's basically a neurological disorder.
Yeah.
It's caused by bacteria.
Yeah.
And you lose your fingers and toes and nose and stuff. But that's not what leprosy meant in the Old
There's
Testament.
so many skin diseases out there, you know.
So many more in the old days too.
Yeah.
Because we didn't know about antibiotics. We didn't know how things were transferred.
Yeah.
People didn't wash. They were around.
There's parasites involved sometimes too. That we did like. We find out like, oh, that's actually a parasite is what's in you.
Yeah. And so, they just didn't know hygiene.
Yeah.
Like we've been to places where we like give away soap and say like, use this.
Yeah. I know, that's wild. Yep.
Yeah. So that was very common in the early world.
Yeah.
Now we use so much soap we dry our skin out.
That's true. We've talked about that. Yeah. So you have all these rules about skin disease, and that it makes you unclean. Now that's interesting too. Like what? So these are stricken, afflicted people. These are people that have hard lives. Why don't they get to go in the temple? That seems like overly restrictive.
Yeah. Well, there's all kind of rules about who can go in the temple.
That's right. It's not. Here's this association with death again, though.
Yeah.
That you are stricken and afflicted, and you are wearing death. On you.
Yeah, not even just death, but like dismemberment.
Yeah.
If you were dismembered somehow, you couldn't go in.
Yeah. Are your sins still atoned for if you can't go in though?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's still a day of atonement for you that you don't have anything to do with. Like the priest is doing this, you know? And so this, again, you can't take this too far as if like these people, because something happened to them, God has stopped loving them or something. That's not what this is.
No.
This is a theological ritual thing that's going on that's helping them always be thinking about what God has done for them.
It's really interesting too, because you think that's not fair.
Yeah.
And God is basically saying through this, you're right. Life is not fair. Not everybody's going to be treated the same.
Yep. That's
it's
right.
not. So get over it.
Yeah, for sure.
That's how it is. Some people's life is going to be much harder than yours.
Yep.
It has nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
Jesus said that.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Who sinned that made this man blind? He didn't sin. Neither did his parents.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's just the world, man.
Just the way it is. This is a fallen place.
Yeah. And in all these cleanliness laws, like, man, they display that. They like write that on the walls, man. You know?
Yeah. I was talking to a young person yesterday, and we were talking about how cheap stuff was when I was a teenager. We could eat at Taco Bell for like $3 or something. The gas was 75 cents a gallon. Yeah. We were laughing. They said, well, why were there any homeless people back then? It was so cheap. I was like, well, really doesn't matter how cheap it gets. You're still going to have them.
Yep, that's right.
I mean, you had them back then when it's just things are not fair.
Yeah.
Some people have a harder time in the world.
Yep. Some people, it's like you think about the homeless thing. I mean, most homeless people are usually very mentally diseased. They have like mental disorders and stuff.
I mean, we learned that in rock and roll, right? Some were born to sing the blues.
Yeah, that's right.
Don't stop believing that.
Yeah, Journey.
Yeah.
That's what this is like. Just putting on display is that the world. This is a place of death. It ain't that great here, man.
No, man.
You should read about the law and be like, man, it ain't that great here.
No, it's not great here.
Yeah.
The point is for you to start thinking, man, this place is terrible, but there's heaven.
Yeah, that's right.
That's what we're all supposed to be looking forward to.
Yeah.
And so, like, you see this this played out. Jesus is using this in the parable of the rich man and Lazarus.
Yeah.
We don't know the rich man's name. By the way, if the Bible talks about you anonymously and you don't get named, you probably stink.
You suck, man.
Yeah.
Stink, sorry.
Yeah. That was PG-13.
Yeah.
But, the whole point of that parable is this dude suffered. Lazarus suffered.
Yeah.
He sat at the gate. He had sores. He was unclean.
Yeah.
And the dogs licked his sores.
Yeah.
And he just wanted something to eat. And the rich man just, walked by and didn't care about him, even though he was the son of Abraham.
Yeah.
But when he died, he went straight to heaven.
Yep.
to Abraham's bosom and was comforted there.
Yeah.
Right? And the rich guy is still in hell.
Yep. That's right. Still.
It's been 2,000 years.
Yeah, it's still there.
Like it's it's a parable. Maybe it wasn't a true story, but probably was.
I think it's like minimally
Something that could happen.
demonstrate.
Absolutely.
It's like it might be a parable that demonstrates reality.
Reality, yeah.
Yeah, I
So
think that's
there are
shabby,
rich
but,
people who had a great time on earth, and nothing bad ever happened to them,
Yeah.
and they have been in torment
Yeah.
for I don't know how many
That's right.
thousand years.
Yeah, I don't think Jesus would tell that parable and be like, "Oh, but that's not what heaven and hell's like at all."
No,
You know?
and then there are other people who like really suffered,
Yeah.
and they've been in heaven for like 3,000 years, and you'd be like, was it worth it? Like,
Yeah. Well, it was when Jesus shows up in Galilee, man, everywhere he goes, he's finding the unclean people, diseased, afflicted, disabled.
The woman
and he's
with the
healing
issue
them,
of
man.
blood for like 7 years.
She's been unclean for 7 years.
She's been basically having a period for 7 years.
Yeah. And he heals her. That's what
Yes.
Jesus does. And so Jesus is like this. It's this incredible radical, especially if you lived in that culture. If you were actually trying for the unclean stuff like they were doing in the first century, they're trying to live by these laws. Like imagine how radical Jesus's holiness that he was bringing to you would be.
Well, here's what's crazy. So if a woman is unclean, she's unclean because of an issue of blood, and she touches you, what happens to you?
You're unclean.
What happened to Jesus?
He made her clean.
Yeah, he couldn't be made unclean.
That's right. Everywhere Jesus goes, he is
Cleaning
he
it
is,
up. Yeah.
he is purity.
Instead of him
Yeah.
becoming unclean,
Yeah.
she became clean.
Yeah, and that's what happens to Jesus over and over again.
When
all
he
throughout.
touches dead people, what happens? He should have been unclean.
Yeah,
They come to life.
they come to life. I know that's insanity. It's
Yeah,
awesome.
it's
and
awesome.
in the good way. Insanity. is what I mean.
He cannot be made unclean.
That's right. And so you read through this stuff in Leviticus, and you could come at it with like a really cynical view, like, oh my, how prohibitive, how awful, but it's actually, man, there is grace and mercy always, and having just a little bit of perspective on reality. Do you really believe in heaven?
Yeah.
Do you really believe in the new earth that Christ is going to build for us?
Oh, I talked about that on Sunday.
I know it. We sang about. I can't hardly sing about heaven no more.
I know
I'm
it.
like every time I get choked out.
I think about that too. Like the older you get, I'm at the age now, God forbid, but like parents start dying, grandparents.
Yeah.
All my grandparents are gone.
Yeah.
Right. The older you get, the more true that is.
Oh yeah.
And when my grandmother was in like 90, like everybody she knew was there.
Yeah.
And so when they thought about heaven, it was like, why am I like they felt like it's almost like I feel like I'm getting short in the stick still being here.
Yeah. And I think, man, I can relate. I can relate.
Yeah.
I think it's true. I think the more you walk with Christ, you just start seeing how deficient this world is. It ain't that great.
No.
And there's
good stuff in it.
There's good stuff. Like I have joy every single day. I love my life. I love it.
Mostly because you're going to heaven, though.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I mean, seriously.
What I love about this world is things that are eternal, things that will last, that you said, faith, hope, and love. And these are the things that will be remaining in the new world.
Yeah.
And that's what you love about this world.
Man, but the hope of heaven has so fundamentally changed me. I was talking to somebody today, and they were like, if it were untrue, the gospel were untrue, would you live like a savage? And I was like, no. I can't even imagine it. Like, just be a bad... Like, I have more joy now in the simple pleasures of being what God's called me to be than I ever had when I was lost. I can't even imagine.
Oh, there's this beautiful moment in The Silver Chair.
Yeah.
C.S. Lewis, Silver Chair. It's the sixth book of
Right
the
before
Narnia.
the end.
Yeah, right before the end.
It's kind of a dark book,
It's a very dark book. It funny, the Narnia books. We can talk about it some other time. But anyways, it's a dark book, and towards the end, Prince Caspian is sitting there dealing with the witch again.
Yeah.
She's in this kind of different form, snaky form and stuff, and they're in the Underdark or the underneath. What is it called?
I don't remember.
I
haven't read this book in 30 years.
It's like in the underworld, and she's like, what do they call it? Gaslighting him, basically.
Yeah.
She's like, there is no Narnia. There never was.
Yeah.
There's no Aslan. There never was. And he has this line. He says something like, I will follow Aslan even if there is no Aslan.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I will live like a Narnian even if there is no Narnia. And I like when the first time I read that, I read it in adulthood.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I sat with that for a while, just sitting there staring. I was like, what does that mean? How could that be?
Oh, I get that 1,000%.
But I get it. The more I get it.
Yeah. It's because this is the truth, man.
This is actually the truth. It's the truth.
It's actually how I know there is a Narnia.
That's right. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's the Lewis also says that he has this writing about the moat, the you know what I'm talking about,
Mm-hmm.
the light and
He can see the dust. He's talking about like when sun shines through a window.
Yeah.
And you see all the thousands of dust particles floating around.
Yeah.
They're always there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the light is how you see it.
The light's how you see it.
Yeah. And that's
The
true.
dust is always there.
About the truth of Scripture that God has revealed to us. It's like this is how we see the world.
Yeah.
Is by this truth that God has given us. And without it, it's actually all darkness.
Yeah.
Like if without the light of the truth, you know, it's really is darkness.
Yeah.
But you only realize that once you've seen the light.
Yeah.
Like once you've
But once you've seen it, you cannot unsee it.
You can't unsee it. Yeah, and that's why, like, we could say something like, I would follow Aslan even if there is no Aslan. I'd live like a Narnian even if there was no Narnia.
Oh, I love him.
Yeah, that's right. Because he's actually talking about Jesus, folks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and so how beautiful.
Yeah. A Caspian overcomes.
Yeah, he overcomes.
He smashes the silver chair.
He does.
Spoiler.
Oh yeah. You should read it. That's a fascinating. It's my least favorite of the books. But
the first one's my least favorite.
Really,
Magician's Nephew.
It's not the first one.
It is the first one, but
no, it's not the first one though. I believe in the published order.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, the published order. You should actually read them in the published order. I believe.
No matter what, when you get to Magician's Nephew, it's the worst.
Yeah, if you read them in the chronological order, I think it lacks perspective.
I read them in the published order.
Yeah, I think that's how you're supposed to read them.
I'll say it's first chronologically.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's what I mean. The chronological order, you can only really appreciate Magician's Nephew if you have
what my favorite one is?
About her already. Yeah, go ahead.
The Horse and His Boy.
Oh, that's easily. It is such a great book.
Is it? I have no idea. I've never talked to anybody about their opinions on it, really.
I think it is. I love them all in a sense. The Horse and His Boy is a fantastic novel.
Yeah.
It's such a great short novel.
It's so fun. I think Narnia is real. I'm serious. I think heaven's more like Narnia than you think.
I think
because
C.S.
here's
Lewis,
the deal. Here's what I think.
Yeah.
You know, the animals talked in the garden and nobody freaked out.
Yeah.
And that's the whole shtick of Narnia. You know, you got these talking animals. And the longer you go and the darker it gets in Narnia, the less and less you have these talking animals.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I know.
And Balaam's donkey, right?
Yep.
His tongue was loosed and he spoke.
Yep.
And so I think, man, be nice to your dog, dude.
Yeah, for sure. I think C.S. Lewis had such a provocative imagination, like in the good way provocative, not like the bad way, but like just like he really he had an imagination that he spent time developing.
Yeah, what makes me laugh is how much Tolkien hated it.
I know it. It's so bizarre to me.
Tolkien could not.
He hated it.
I think on a scale of like where my brain is, I'm way more Tolkien brained than I am C.S. Lewis brained.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I love Tolkien 50 gajillion times more than Lewis.
It's just different to me.
Yeah,
I like them both.
I like
love
boring
them both.
clearly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like them both. I think they're equal, just different. They're so different. They're doing different things. Like
They're doing different things. I think I like it when you have this neat universe that everything in it makes sense and is tied together. And Lewis feels like he's just Han Solo in it. You know, he's strapped in.
I don't know. I look at Lewis and I'm like, who cares if there's a
And Reepicheep gets on my nerves. That's heresy, I think.
I think C.S. Lewis's themes are so well done. They're better done than Tolkien's
No
themes.
way.
Tolkien is, but they're doing different things. They're doing, it's so different because C.S. Lewis is all short form, like so much shorter, so much more concise and like compact. And so his themes by necessity are more apparent, and they're so well done. They're really well done. Tolkien's are much more subtle, and but he also has probably 3 times the pages to do it in.
Easily.
You know, and so they're just doing different things with it.
Yeah. But I mean, Tolkien's world. We talk
We're
about this.
so
We're
nerds.
so far.
Golly,
out of,
this is
this
ridiculous.
Is our
This is
my
stupid.
critique of
Yeah.
Brandon Sanderson.
Yeah.
Is
I got lots of critiques.
his world is not a place I want to live.
Yeah.
Tolkien's world is a place where I want to go.
Yeah.
Narnia, I don't care.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'd love to go there,
Yeah,
man.
I mean, I'd love to go there. Don't get me wrong, but like Bilbo's little hobbit hole.
Yeah.
When
Everyone
he's
wants to
making
go
those
there,
tea
though.
cakes,
Yeah.
oh my goodness,
Yeah.
I want to go be there.
I know. I love those little videos about like making food, making like Hobbit food and stuff.
Yes.
It looks delicious.
It
Looks
does.
so homey.
Oh my goodness,
Man.
yeah.
Yeah, how fun.
But Narnia, it's just it doesn't feel as described. It feels faker.
It's just
to me.
shorter.
Yeah.
It's shorter is what it is.
Yeah.
They're short children's novels.
Yeah.
They're not, it's not an adult
I don't know,
trilogy.
maybe it caught me
you
at the
know?
wrong time. I gotta read it again.
Yeah.
I just didn't like it that much.
Yeah. I love still to this day, my favorite series is his space trilogy, C.S. Lewis
Yeah.
space trilogy.
We're not going
Love
there.
it. Golly. I'm due for a reread soon, actually. All right. So,
Mine's Harry Potter.
oh, those are great too. I reread Harry Potter last year.
Yeah.
The whole series. And that's the first time I read it in adulthood.
Yeah?
It's great.
Oh,
Still
I've
great.
only ever read it in adulthood.
Yeah. They came out nearly with me.
That's
like
true.
growing up, like
What was
at
the first
ages,
one? Like
99, I think. Yeah,
Yeah.
something
See,
like
I
that.
was already graduated college.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I remember them, some of them, they weren't exactly every year they came out. I caught up at like 12 or something and to like book 3 or something. And then
You're
several
still
of
hoping
them,
for your owl.
yeah, several of them, yeah, for real, came out with me.
Yeah.
And then I was like maybe just a little bit older when 7 came out. I was a little bit older than he was.
I
when-
really love it because we have nothing to do with this Leviticus at this point, but I love it. It's,
No,
the,
we've
it's the
left
only
Leviticus.
series that I
Yeah.
loved as, a fantasy sci-fi series that my kids really latched onto.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that makes it even more special.
that is very
Like, they
special.
didn't care that much about Star Wars.
Oh yeah,
I mean, they don't care about...
Big announcement. Me and Evie watched Star Wars for the first time, and
Shut up.
Archer on Saturday. She loved it. We watched A New Hope, the first one.
Yes.
Archer loved it. Here's what the funny part is: like there are some like kind of scariest parts for like a little kid.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, like the aliens.
Yeah.
Evie was like creeped out by that. She was like making throw up faces and stuff whenever they would go into the bar at
Yeah, yeah.
Mos Eisley. Yeah, she thought those Archer thought they were hilarious.
Yeah.
He was cackling about them, and then the arm gets cut off. You know,
Yeah.
And Evie was like, oh, she was like making throw up face. Archer thought it was hilarious.
That is actually the most disappointing thing
What
when
is?
the arm gets cut off.
Oh, really?
Because I grew up and Han Solo shot first.
Oh yeah,
And all those versions
Mm-hmm.
are gone. There was no, how you kind of see the blaster like reflect
Uh-huh.
off the wall and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That snippet is gone in the original. It's just all it says in the one I saw.
what's the arm thing though?
Oh, sorry. Arm was. Yeah, I'm thinking about two different things. I'm talking about when Han Solo shot Greedo.
Okay, yeah,
that is the worst, most disappointing. Because when
Why are you getting so grumpy about that?
well, because it was so much better.
What
It-
it looks still like Han Solo shot first.
yes, but
People like that act like it doesn't. I don't like. What movie are you watching? He
Yeah.
obviously still shot first.
but it was cooler because when the version that we saw, Greedo says, "I'll kill you" or something like that,
Yeah,
or I'll take it in, and
Yeah.
Han Solo just leans up and goes, "Yeah, I bet you will."
yeah,
And it's done. There's no reflection. There's no zoom out. It's just
yeah.
Greedo just falls on the table. And it's so much better no matter how you slice it.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, George Lucas, what are you doing, man?
yeah. Well, but y'all had the bad Jabba the Hutt or something, didn't you?
No, he wasn't in there.
He wasn't in. Wasn't it like a fat guy or something?
No, in the New Hope, it was not in there
He wasn't in there at all.
at all.
Oh, okay. How about
They
that?
added a bunch of dumb stuff.
How about that?
It's sort of like, not Tolkien, Rowling.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, going back
they
on
keep
Dumbledore
Going, yeah, keep
and
like
being gay or
just
something.
leave it alone.
Yeah, just
like,
leave it alone.
You did a
man.
good job the first time.
You know, that's the thing about like art is like you're supposed to. I say you're supposed to. I guess there's no rule or whatever, but like the idea in any art form is that there's never a completed piece. Yeah. It's just you just stopped working on it.
Yeah.
And like that's how all art is. That's how every song you've ever heard is. There's more they could do. Yeah. But you get to a point where you just have to stop.
Yeah.
There's a point in a painting where you just have to stop.
I think this is with the Bible too.
Yeah.
I think at some point you just have to realize people are going to do with your stuff what they want.
It's not yours anymore.
Yeah,
you've released it.
It is, but it ain't.
Yeah, there's like this like concept in like songwriting and stuff. Some of the best songs are intentionally vague. Have like not all of them, but some of the best ones are, and they're writing about something that's important to them. But like you might not really understand. When you just look at the words, you might not really understand what it is because it's a little weird and it's intentionally vague, and it blows up for some reason. Because it goes out there, but it becomes the communities. They attach meaning to it, and value to it.
And that the best art, the happiest artists are okay with that.
They are
the ones who want to control the narrative. Are miserable.
They are. You got a nod to release a song if that's you, and it can be just a song for you, you know. And and so I think that with these movies, it's like, man, just stop, just let it go. Books, movies.
I think that's what ruined Patrick Rothfuss.
Oh, yeah. That's a different story. Yeah. We have gone off the rails on Leviticus and talking about art and everything. All right. Well, everyone, I think we can call it right there.
Yeah.
We're going to call it. We've got all the way down to the contaminated fabrics. That's all kind of looped in. We covered about half of Leviticus, didn't we? How about that, man?
Well, there's a lot of
it's all the same set bodily discharges, you know. We'll get to the day. We'll do Day of Atonement next time. Chapter 16. That'll be a good one.
Yeah.
All right. Everyone, thank you guys for listening to the Big Deal Podcast. We will see you next time.
See ya.